Hey, thanks for checking this out. The title of this video is Do You Know Jesus? And so the question is, do you know him? So how are we going to answer that? Well, let's go to Scripture. Scripture is always going to tell you what the answer is, no matter what it is in life. So if you read Matthew 7:7, it says, "Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." Also in Revelation 3:20, we're going to see, "Seek me, and you will find me. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come to him. I will eat with him, and he with me." Then, some more on that same topic in Matthew 7:14 is, "Narrow is the gate, and few will find it." So that starts getting a little scary. So he's saying this is kind of narrow, and not a lot of people are going to find their way into heaven. But the scariest one for me is Matthew 7:21 and 23. Is, "Depart from me, I never knew you." And I think it goes on to say, "You workers of iniquity," and they're saying like, "Lord, Lord, didn't we cast out demons and do all this stuff?" And the bottom line is, you either know him or you don't. So the big question is, how do you know him? A lot of people already know that answer, but a lot of people, I think way more don't know that answer. So, in order to know him, it's a big Bible. 66 books. It's a study Bible. I love it. I read it every day. The Word even says, if you want to know me, read the Word. Where does it say that? I'm not sure right now. But anyways, read the Word, and you'll get to know him. Pray. And then after you pray, listen. The Bible says that still small voice. That still small voice. When you pray and listen, you can hear that still small voice if you listen. But you gotta listen. You gotta shut out everything else. You gotta go in a quiet place. And lastly, worship. And I thought this was kind of strange myself at first. But if you read in Ephesians 5, it does say, worship the Lord. So what does that look like? Well, for me, it looks like getting in my office and spending time alone with God and turning on some music and singing songs and hymns to him and glorifying his name. And then I pray, and then I listen. And it's amazing. It really is. So just to recap, but that really is huge. People just don't realize, the Bible also says that God inhabits the praises of his people. So if you're praising, he's going to inhabit that space. If he's inhabiting that space and you pray, one thing leads to another. So it's really good. So this is a really scary verse, "Depart from me, I never knew you." You don't want to be in front of Jesus and him say that to you. But narrow is the gate, isn't it? But again, Matthew 7, Revelation 3:20, if you seek me, you will find me. Knock and you will find me. Seek and it shall be given to you. When you seek me, knock and it will be open unto you. It's funny because I wanted to put all these scriptures together, and as I looked them up, I already had them in my head, but as I looked them up, they're all Matthew 7, except Revelation 20, which is a lot like Matthew 7:7. So it's really interesting, but you don't hear this a lot in church, that, you know, we've got to cultivate a relationship with Jesus in order to make it through that narrow gate, in order to get to know him. We've got to cultivate that relationship. And what does that look like? Well, again, study. It's a big book. Boy, that TV's on 24/7 sometimes. This book, if you just give it a little time a day, you know, it's just like anything else. You don't have to start out reading 37 chapters a day. You read a little a day, meditate, pray, listen for God. Praise and worship, meditate, pray, seek the Lord. Go for a walk in the woods, meditate, pray, seek the Lord. Bible says also, the Lord looks to and fro for those who look for him, those who seek his face. There's so many people running around, and for lack of better words, they could care less. They're doing their own thing, you know, and that's fine. I do my own thing too, but I have to take out time for the Lord every day, or I get out of whack. I start getting selfish, start living totally in the flesh. Bible says, those who worship must worship in spirit and in truth. Now, that one's pretty deep. But for me, it looks like this. I'm worshiping in spirit. I've got my arms lifted up. May or may not have my eyes closed, but I'm worshiping him. I'm trying to worship him with all that I have. Not just, hey Lord, I love you. And yep, and then in our heads we're thinking, I can't wait to get done with this so I can go do something else. Well, that's not it. You gotta savor that time with him. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what. So anyway, I appreciate you checking out the video. Like and subscribe if you would. I'd appreciate it a lot. I'm just trying to give some really thoughtful, thought-provoking insight to a lot of the scripture, and for me that one is just super important. I don't know how it can get any more important than that, but the Bible is just full of treasures. And so thanks again, and take care.